Hello dear students, I am Sahana Prasad from Department of Commerce, Gopalswamy PU College, Mysore. Welcome to Business Studies class. In today's session, let's continue with chapter 3, that is private, public and global enterprises, and today's topic is government companies. A government company is established under the Companies Act 2013. So this government companies are established purely for business purpose. According to Companies Act of 2013, a government company means any company in which not less than 51% of the paid up capital it is held by central government or by any state or partly by central government or partly by one or more state government. So a government company means any company which has not less than 51% of paid up capital. So what is paid up capital? Paid up capital means it is a money which a company receives by its shareholders by selling its shares to the investors. So a paid up capital yenide. So adu it is held by central government or state government. Athwa central government irutte athwa state government irutte athwa partly by central government or state government or partly by one or more state government. Ivaga ಎರಡು states ಸೇರಿ ಇವಾಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಮಹಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರ ಅಂಡ್ ಗುಜರಾತ್ ಎರಡು ಸೇರಿ 51% ಆಫ್ ಪೇಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ದ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಶೇರ್. When the capital of a company is divided into number of units, each unit is called as share. So the shares of the government company is purchased in the name of the president of the country. So president of India, existing president yaar irtare, so our hesaralli government company shares na purchase ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. So a government company can be formed as a private limited or a public limited. So there are certain provisions which are applicable for the appointment or retirement of the directors. See, the examples of government companies are BHEL, Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, or Coal India Limited, or State Trading Corporation of India. All these are examples of government companies. Now let us see the features of government company. First one is it is created under the Companies Act 2013 or any previous Companies Act. So the rules which are laid down in that particular Companies Act are applicable to this government company. So ಆ act ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ಸ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಆ act ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಸೊ ಅದ್ರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫೈಲ್ ಎ ಸೂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಾ. ಸೊ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ವಿರುದ್ಧ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫೈಲ್ ಎ ಕೇಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಾ. And next is it can enter into a contract. You know that companies are an artificial person created by law. So it can enter into a contract and it can also acquire its any property in its name. So ಥರ್ಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಜೊತೆ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಅದರ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿನ ಅಕ್ವೈರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದ್ರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ನ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. Next is employees are appointed according to their own rules and regulations. Here own rules and regulations means these companies have to prepare memorandum of association and articles of association. Memorandum of association is a very important document which has to be prepared by the companies. So this memorandum of association it describes the purpose for which the company is formed. So it states the objectives of the company. So memorandum of association it contains rights, privileges and powers of the company, and this memorandum of association is treated as the constitution of the company. It is the most important document which is prepared by the company. And next is articles of association. Articles of association is another important document which is prepared by the company. It states the internal management rules and regulations of the company. For example, how the tasks of the company has to be accomplished, or the procedures to appoint directors, or handling any financial records or accounts, etc. So all these are related to internal management system. So company henge ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಬೇಕು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೇನು ಕಂಪನಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನೇನು ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲನೂ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ರೂಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದ್ರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಅವರು ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯೀಸ್ ನ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ exempted from accounting and audit. Here there is no compulsory or there is no compulsion for the government companies to prepare accounts and auditing. Auditing also not required. Here an auditor is appointed by the central government and the annual report is to be presented in the ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಲೆಜಿಸ್ಲೇಚರ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಅಕೌಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಆಡಿಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಒಂದು ಆಡಿಟರ್ನ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇವರು ಏನೇನು ಅಕೌಂಟ್ಸ್ ಏನೇನು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲಾನು ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಬ್ಟೈನ್ ಫಂಡ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನೇನು ಶೇರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ದೇ ಆಬ್ಟೈನ್ ಫಂಡ್ಸ್ ಟು ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ದಿ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಬ್ಟೈನ್ ಫಂಡ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ private shareholding. It is also permitted to raise funds from capital market. So capital market is a market where the buyers and sellers they buy and sell the shares of their company. So alli kuda avaru they can raise the capital in the capital market. So these are the features of government company. Now let us see the merits, that is advantages of government company. First one is it has a separate act of parliament is not required. See, the government companies are formed under the Companies Act 2013 or any previous company law. So our Companies Act ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಸೊ ಅದರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಅವರು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಲಾ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಟು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಅ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಲೀಗಲ್ ಎಂಟಿಟಿ. ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಟಿ, own entity, that is it has separate legal entity apart from the government ಅಲ್ಲೇನೆ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ಗೆ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಒಂದು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಟಿ ಇದೆ. Next is it enjoys autonomy in all management decision. It can take independent decision in managing the company and they can take decisions for the benefit of the business. And here there is no government interference, so they can make their own management decision and they can take all decisions which is right for the business. Next is it provide goods and services at a reasonable prices. Compared to other private businesses, the cost of goods and services is pretty much less compared to other forms of business. So government companies do ಏನು goods and service ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಸೊ ಅದ್ರ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಬೇರೆ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ಗೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So these are the merits of government companies. Now let us see the limitations, that is demerits of government company. First one is the provisions of the Companies Act does not have much relevance. Here the government is the boss and here the government is the only shareholder. Since the government is the only shareholders in some of the companies, the provisions of the Companies Act does not have much relevance. So it does not have much importance because in some of the companies government is the only shareholder. Shareholder is a person who holds the share of the company. So and here the government is the only boss. So this is one of the limitations. Next is it evades constitutional responsibility. Evades means escape or to avoid. It avoids constitutional responsibility. So ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಕಂಪನಿಗೆ ಈಗ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನಲ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಇದು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಸ್ಕೇಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. And it is not answerable directly to the parliament. So parliament ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಏನೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಾಗ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳೋದಾಗ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. So that is what it means, evades constitutional responsibility. Next is management rests in the hands of government. Here the administration and management is entirely in the hands of government. And government being the only sole shareholder, the management and administration it rests in the hands of government. See, this means the government is the one who decides who is going to be the board of director or who is the one who will be managing the government company. So government interference idde irutte. So administration ಮತ್ತು management ಪೂರ್ತಿ government ಕೈಯಲ್ಲೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So these are the demerits of government companies. So in this session I explained meaning of government company, merits and demerits. Thank you.